What's up, chum? Sharky here. So I've been gone for a couple weeks, and I just wanted to kind of do a channel update and let you guys know some things that are going on in my life right now. 2024 has definitely been a better year than 2023. There's been a lot of positive changes for me. So the first thing I want to talk about is I got a new microphone. You may have noticed this big blue thing in the corner, but what I like about this is it's directional, so you can actually filter out background noise and stuff. I'm not sure what happened with my last two videos. I was actually looking at the audio feedback for those videos when I was editing it, and the interesting thing is that it's not a crackling noise that you hear actually. It's almost like the microphone is damaged or it shuts itself off when I stop talking, and there's like a delay when I start talking again. So I'm not exactly sure like what caused that, because it used to work fine when I first got the webcam, but for whatever reason. A couple months back, I made a video about me getting married soon. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who congratulated me and Juimi on our upcoming wedding. I just have some updates on that really quick. So we filed our K1 visa application, which if you're not from the US or you don't know what I'm talking about, the K1 fiancé visa is basically a legal visa that allows your foreign fiance to come to the United States to get married. It's specifically for that purpose. And there's a whole long process, and I won't get into all the details of it because it's stuff that you can Google if you're really interested. But basically, it's taken us about 7 months to get a response on that. And fortunately, we did get an update on our case. We actually submitted our application in August of last year, and like I said, we've been waiting several months, and we got a notification that it was approved. I received a letter in the mail that it was approved in February, and then after that it moves on to the NVC, which is the National Visa Center, and they have already forwarded our case to Italy. So the next step is that my fiance will attend an interview in Italy to come to the United States on a fiancé visa. So everything is going pretty quickly. Initially, the processing center that our case was sent to, the estimated wait time was 14 months, and we've only been waiting about half that, so that was really, really good news for us. So we're hoping to have our wedding hopefully by the end of this year. We're thinking possibly September. We've known each other since 2012, and we've been wanting to get married for like the last 6 years or so, and it's finally coming true. So that's really exciting. I just wanted to give another update on my mental health. As you guys know, I never shy away from discussing mental health on this channel. In fact, I've actually garnered a few subscribers because of how open I am with my mental health, and it's actually helped other people to feel better about their own circumstances and their own diagnosis and everything. And to that, I just want to say, like, thank you for letting me know that, because it actually it means a lot to me that people are finding what I'm saying helpful, and it's not just like me saying things out into the ether, like it's actually helping people. I'm really glad that you guys, take something away from my own experiences. But going off of that, so I'm just gonna say, like, last year and even the year before that, 2022, was pretty rough for me mentally. about the time I started college was kind of like a tipping point for me. Like, things started to get really bad, like much worse. Around the time that I started my YouTube channel, my mental health was like really bad. Like, I won't go into too much detail, but I was just really not sure like what I wanted to do with my life. And I know that, you know, when you're in your 20s, some of that like is normal. Like, you know, not knowing what you want to do in the future and like, you know, the unknown. So having anxiety and like, you know, over that, some of that is normal. However, I feel like for me, it was a daily struggle of like overwhelming, not only anxiety, but just like getting out of bed and like doing the day to day became very difficult for me. And it's not something that I've talked a lot about on this channel. I've mostly talked about my struggles with ADHD, which is still something that is, you know, ongoing. But as far as like other than the ADHD, I was actually able to get some answers recently from actually like seeking professional like medical help. When I was diagnosed with ADHD, I was a kid. I want to say I was about middle school age, so probably around like age 12-ish. And I started medication for it shortly after that. And one of the notes on my ADHD diagnosis was may have social anxiety. And for many years, like since middle school until very recently, like within the last couple months, I had never sought any deeper into that. I had just kind of, you know, tried to deal with the ADHD symptoms instead of possibly some other things that had been going on. As I said before, 2024 has been the year of change for me. I've really been trying to push myself out of my comfort zone and trying to change habits that I've had for a very long time, at least like 4 years, maybe longer. Because I'm just tired of living the same way and not... I'm tired of being tired all the time. And I really just wanted answers as to why, like, I was feeling the way that I was. Last year was very, very rough for me. I lost my cat around this time last year, and I lost my great-grandmother last year. And I was just dealing with a lot of negative thoughts, some even unaliving ideations. I have to call it that because YouTube doesn't like the actual word. And just really, really, it was like a cloud of negativity over me, like all the time. I was having nightmares off and on. That weren't like, when I say nightmares, I mean like really, really dark stuff, like involving like me unaliving myself or other people. I won't go too deep into that, but it was very, very uncomfortable for me to have those types of dreams, and just I was just getting tired of, you know, doing the same thing every day, like just going to work and then coming home and like not making any like lasting healthy changes. And like I said before, I also wanted answers as to why I was having these kinds of thoughts. And to be honest, like I've had these kinds of thoughts since childhood. but I really feel like they got worse as I got older, and it got to a point where I was just like, okay, I have to do something about this. I started going to therapy last year. At the end of last year, my mental health got really, really bad, and I had never actually tried going to therapy. It is a biblical therapy, so it is with a Christian, but she is also a licensed professional therapist, and she also has ADHD. So, like, I find it very relatable to talk to her because she has a lot of similar experiences and gives me new perspectives on my thoughts and like how to change how I think about things. And like I said, I've been going to therapy since late last year, and it did help. It started to make me rethink my thoughts and just like, you know, why I do the things that I do. But then I started feeling like therapy wasn't enough. I just could not function. So I did actually go to a doctor and tell her all of the symptoms that I was having, and we had talked and discussed. I told her about my going to therapy and like things that I have tried and things that I haven't, and I told her about my ADHD, and I didn't know if like it was related to that or whatever. And basically, long story short, I fit the criteria for generalized anxiety disorder, and I do have symptoms of major depressive disorder. And I know there's a couple different types of depression, but I think the term that she used was severe depressive disorder. That's something that I've never really considered until recently, and it just kind of hit me. Like, as we were talking about it, I was like, you know, that makes a lot of sense. And I was thinking, like, you mean that's not normal? Like, all the things that I was thinking and feeling and experiencing, like, when I'm sleeping and stuff, like all of those things are not normal everyday things that people go through. You mean you don't have existential dread every day when you wake up? And, like, it just shocked me that, like, it seemed so obvious after she told me, because I was just like, oh yeah, like, that does make sense. So, basically, long story short, I got put on antidepressants that also treat anxiety, and I have been on those since probably about a week or so now, and I feel really good. I no longer feel the negative cloud. I'm not as irritable, nearly as irritable as I was. Um, Basically, I feel like I don't even feel the symptoms as much of my ADHD either. I almost feel like it's kind of numbed it in a way, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't have racing, anxious thoughts. Um, I will say, when I first started the medication, like, I was having headaches. I don't know if that was, like, related to the medication, but, like, it can be a symptom, like a side effect of starting antidepressants. But my advice to anyone that maybe, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not claiming to be a doctor, you know, I have taken college courses on disorders, though, and sometimes medication does help more so than just therapy, or just, or not doing anything, which I was doing for many years. But I highly recommend, if you're considering going to therapy, do it. There are ways to afford therapy. It's a lot more accessible now than it probably ever has been. Now, me personally, not a sponsor, just want to say that, but I went to growtherapy.com. I do not use their services for therapy. I actually go to a completely different therapist, but they were able to connect me with a doctor that could prescribe antidepressants, and that's what I'm doing currently. Like I said before, I highly recommend, like, if you just don't know where else to go, like, I can't stress enough, like, how much I wish I would have done this sooner. I really wish that I would have sought out a diagnosis for this sooner and dealt with it sooner, because I never realized just how much it was overshadowing my life. I had so many people, like, telling me that I just needed to go to church and, like, you know, I just needed to do this or that, or eat these foods, go on a diet, exercise. And I'm not knocking going on a diet and exercising, which I have started being more careful about what I eat. And I also bought a treadmill that's over here in this corner, to start walking and exercising. I'm not knocking that, but sometimes going on medication can help a lot more than you think. So that's just kind of what I've been up to lately. I'm really just trying to be more confident in myself and just deal with habits and issues that I've dealt with for a long time. And I feel so much better now. As for the channel, I'm planning on doing more Shark Bites podcast. I know it's been a hot minute. I've been gone for a while. Now that I have a new microphone, it's going to be even better this time. I have a couple of videos that are kind of related to this one, talking about my dream journal. I really want to make a video on my dream journal because there are a lot of interesting things in there. I've been keeping up with it since, I think, November of last year. It was about the same time that I started therapy. So that'll be interesting. Would love to make a video on that. Anyways, this video is long enough. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.